Thank you, Adele, and thank you, everybody, for coming. I want you all to think of the top 10 things that you guys love about your life right now. I'd like to do this for all my audiences, just to kind of see where we stand, see where everybody is. Show me with a raise of your hand, how many of you said me, yourself? Show me. How many of you love yourself? How many of you put yourself as number one? You love yourself the most. It should be all hands up. Everybody should have their hands up. Because I know I do. I know that I love myself 100% from the inside out. And that's what makes me happy. That's what makes me tick every single day. There's other people, there's other things, there's a lot of other things in my life that I love, but loving myself is number one. I believe that if you want to be great, it starts from within. And growing up in Romania during communist ruling, and for a few years after the communism, majority of the things that make people happy nowadays didn't exist. So we had to find it within ourselves. It had to come from within. And as humans, I believe we have to be able to define what makes us tick every single day. You got to dig inside and you got to find out in the deepest humanly way possible how you can love yourself before you can love anything else, before you can love anybody else. So this is what we learned growing up in Romania, in our home. There was a lot of love, real love within the household. There was a lot of love amongst the peers. So I was able to spend a lot of time on my own, mainly because my mom and dad locked me in my room for doing things that they didn't approve. But solitude is good, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot from being by myself. And getting to know yourself takes time, and I always tell people to lock themselves in a room with no contact to the outside world and start writing things down. What should you write down? Well, write down who you are right now, who you are at this moment. Write down who you want to become. And that's how you start. In order to grow into who you want to become, you must love who you are right now. You then have to take good care of yourself. Eat good things and take good care of your body. Meditate, find solitude, and take care of your mind. And stop watching other people's lives. It's a waste of your time. And our time's limited. We start losing time from the moment we're born. We're never going to gain time. We always lose it. Focus on you. Start doing the things that help you get to where you want to go. You'll only get there by doing what you need to do. To get a hold of your life, and I have a good hold of it, and be great, is not a matter of just doing one thing. It's a matter of being good at everything. Having everything around you be really, really good. I always say happiness is a choice, and it's true. A lot of people look at me and say, man, I don't know. But it is true. My parents, who are in the stands today, took a leap and decided to leave it all behind and immigrate to Canada when I was 15 years old, hoping that life would be better, basically hoping that we could walk into a store and find food on the shelves, because we couldn't do that in Romania. Most people today automatically assign their unhappiness to their circumstances, but we didn't. Immigrating wasn't because we were chasing success. It was because it could bring happiness to our daily lives by living in a Western society. And Canada's awesome. You can't be happy. You can't just wait to be happy in the future after you got success or after you find something like that. It just doesn't make sense that way. I'm going to do this until I accomplish this, and then I'll be happy. You have to be able to be happy as you do things. To achieve success, you cannot put any limits on yourself. due to the fear or lack of confidence in your abilities. You have to treat every day as a gift because life is precious, as we all know, and can take very strange turns. It's unpredictable. At any point in time, weird things can happen. Work, it's a big topic. Work shouldn't be a chore that you do for money. It should be something that you do because you love it and you can make a difference in this world by doing it. After my playing days were done, I became a police officer here in Niagara. And I loved every single minute of it for 6 years. I was a good cop. I was a good detective. I was a celebrated officer for my community involvement and my police work. I was awarded Police Officer of the Year. However, I became comfortable. And ordinary people are comfortable with ordinary choices. And I wanted to go beyond the ordinary. And what I thought was possible, it was outside this box. Because of my upbringing, I was able to think outside the box, a box that society puts us in. I was very aware of who I was, and that made me really happy. For me, being uncomfortable is what makes me happy. Comfort doesn't. Doesn't have to be the case for you. Showing up to work, doing a great job every single day, collecting a paycheck, having the possibility of collecting a pension, became a comfortable feeling. It wasn't making me happy. Even though I was doing a great job, and I was a good cop. So I decided to chase the uncomfortable feeling. So I retired from being a police officer at the age of 32. And this is what it was. You can imagine the chatter from my workmates and everyone that knew me. I think there was one police officer that was actually on my side. He's still my mentor and friend to this day, and he's here tonight. Thanks for coming. But I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I set my own standard of excellence. I urge you to set your own standard of excellence. Don't ever judge yourself based on what others think of you. Nobody dictates your life. You do. Strive to satisfy yourself, and you'll be happy for the rest of your life. Was I scared? Yep, of course. But it's what drives me, remember? Discomfort. I'm sure a lot of you struggle with fear. And I was doing a Coach Go interview, and the video gentleman, Mark, we talked about the fear. And a lot of people struggle with fear. And I'm sure you all have negative thoughts that come from within. Why would anybody ever choose to have negative thoughts? It baffles me. But you don't. You don't choose to be negative. Thoughts don't come from you. They just pop in from your consciousness. They pop in randomly like an unwanted surprise guest, like me at this event. And they just want to tell you that you are weak, unworthy, insignificant, incapable. The best part is, just like the surprise guest, you can choose not to let them in. Thank you for letting me in. But you are in control because our thoughts only have the power that we give them. You can ignore them, or you can simply see them for what they are. Lies. Just because you have a negative thought, you don't have to believe in it. I always say that fear is not real. It's one of my lines that I tell every person I come in contact with. It's a lie. Fear lies to us. And I say that fear stands for false evidence that appears real. It looks and feels true, but it isn't. And it tries to bully you into believing things like you aren't strong enough, you're not good enough, successful enough, wealthy enough, happy enough, smart enough, talented enough, and it goes on. But if you know the truth, this won't affect you. The truth about who you are and what you believe in. If everything inside you helps you overcome this every single day. You, all of you, were not meant to be average. You all have a purpose. You might be having a rough time, but your best days are yet to come. So when fear and negativity pop into your mind, you can believe it, or you can just speak the truth to these lies. You can be confident in who you are and how you approach life. In 2008, I finished playing basketball with my best buddies, still to this day. And we're in the parking lot, and I said, hey guys, I think I want to start teaching kids, schools, teams, how to play basketball. But I want to charge them. You're crazy. It'll never work. So that played some tricks on me. Played some tricks on my mind, allowed some doubt to just creep in. Maybe these guys are right. They know what they're doing. They know what they're saying. They're older than me. They've been around. Maybe this won't work. But I knew what I wanted. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make a difference in the game of these individuals and eventually in their life. It worked for me. That's what I did. I had people teach me. And that's how I became a top 5 high school player in Canada. That's how I became to play on the national team. Got a scholarship to play NCAA Division I basketball. So I didn't let those thoughts cripple in. I wrote down the lies they told me and what my mind was telling me. And then I wrote down the truth next to them that I knew from within. So in the past 10 years, I built a basketball training business that started in a driveway in Niagara Falls with one kid. And since has become a global business that has people hiring me to the exact thing that those lies told me it won't work. I get to travel the world, teach the game of basketball. My knowledge and expertise is sought after by teams and players from grassroots professional ranks. Hey, imagine if I listened to those lies that my friends told me and my mind said, hey, maybe these guys are right. So there's so much freedom. It's a tremendous amount of freedom in knowing that negative thoughts are not coming from you. There's a ton of power in knowing that you don't have to believe those lies. You're capable of knowing and living the truth and just keep moving forward with belief, optimism, faith, and of course my favorite, hard work. I never valued overthinking and over-assessing a situation. I just go. I just do it. You can't control what other people in your life do or say. You're in full control of your emotions and your reactions. And that's it. That's what you can control. And you have to be you. You have to know you. You have to be sure of who you are, understand your growth path. This will keep you happy because you do what you want to do. When I was offered to take my master's degree in sports administration at the age of 33 for free, I took the opportunity because I wanted to be better, and I got better. I had no idea that right after I completed my master's, I would be offered a job as a university professor teaching 2 different classes and 2 different graduate levels. So focus on how you can influence the outcome of your work and never worry about someone else not doing what they're supposed to do. Can't help it. It's not your fault when someone disappoints you or holds you back. Embrace your failures and learn from them as you constantly build yourself into the best version of yourself. So 18 months ago, I decided that once again I was too comfortable. So I had become a world-class trainer. I had a local gym that I owned. I had more clients that I could service. I couldn't go overseas to train players because I was so busy, so they started coming here from overseas just to get my knowledge and expertise. I could have done that forever, but you got it. It became comfortable. So one of my mentors and business partners called me and asked me to take over his business. He's the absolute biggest basketball training business in the world. He needed help with his vision and his growth. So myself and my beautiful girlfriend, who's my biggest supporter, by the way, embarked on a journey of 15 months, 15 countries, 3 continents, and just to get better, just to get challenged. And we lived in South Florida, we lived in China, we lived in Europe, and during that time, and yes, it was very uncomfortable, including the small European beds for us 2 large individuals. But the result is we grew and we got better and we're able to embrace the discomfort. Don't do things that don't make you happy. Don't do anything that requires you to be someone you are not. Don't think that you can please everyone, and please don't ever do anything to please someone. Don't choose short-term comfort over long-term benefits. The world is very imperfect. And if anyone or anything seems flawless, run. Run away. Learn from your pain. And own the pain, because it's unavoidable. It comes. You have to know that you can always make a difference and leave a legacy behind. You must leave a legacy behind. It's our job to leave a lasting mark on this world. Leave it a better place than when we found it. And we can't do that if we're not happy. So be happy. It's a choice. And I want you all to make the right choice. Thank you.